And the recent federal budget announced significant funding to support women, including $38.3 million over 5 years to assist women in leadership roles. So what makes a good leader and how are we seeing these roles change? Well, joining me live is Colleen Callander, founder of Mentor Me and author of Leader by Design. Thank you for joining us, Colleen.
Good morning, Janie. Thank you so much for having me.
So the May budget, the federal budget was announced certainly just a number of weeks ago for women, including $42.4 million over the space of 7 years, and that was to encourage women into STEM. So how important do you think these types of announcements are?
Absolutely. Look, they're so important. And, Jenny, I say progress is progress. It doesn't matter how big or how small. It is so important that we're moving forward and we're putting female leadership in the conversation and at the forefront of everything we're talking about today.
And in your book, Leader by Design, you mentioned the new era of leadership, which is one that leads with kindness, trust and authenticity. So why have we seen such a shift, and do you think it's working?
Yes. Well, Jenny, that's the leadership I've been living in and working in for my entire leadership life. And, I talk about in my book, kindness being the new superpower for leaders. And I really believe that this is the way forward. And kindness is a new form of currency, I suppose, one that we trade for loyalty and commitment and performance. And, when I talk about kindness, it doesn't mean that people can fly under the radar. It doesn't mean that we're not accountable or we accept underperformance. Kindness is about setting clear expectations. It's about giving honest feedback. It's about encouraging people around us. And I really believe that kindness is the way forward. Kindness is courageous. It is not a weakness.
And when you started off as a CEO, how many women were in those roles?
Well, I'm happy to say that number has improved. I don't know the exact number when I started, but, one of the things I talk about being super proud of is the fact that I have worked my way up to the role of CEO, and I've worked really hard to get to that role. But one of the things that really saddens me, Janie, is that less than 20% of roles in Australia are held by women in CEO positions. And so one of my focuses is really to change that number.
And you are one of the success stories of leaders quitting school at a young age, finishing at 16. Are we seeing this type of trend?
Well, maybe. I've never been a big fan of a piece of paper, but I suppose that really depends on what you want to do in life. Now, I remember finishing school at the age of 16. As you said, I started at the local Just Jeans store in Geelong, and unbeknownst to me, that was going to be the start of my 30-year career that would lead me to being, one of the top CEOs of two of Australia's iconic fashion brands, Sportsgirl and Suzanne. And I remember finishing school then, and my father said to me, work hard, love what you do, be passionate and never give up. And they're the words that have stuck with me my entire life. And I've applied them not just to my working world, but to my life in general.
You have experienced burnout. Can you describe what that was and what are the signs? And are we seeing more people getting burnout?
We certainly are, and again, there's some tips and information in my book around burnout, because I was 36 years of age and I described myself as a red Ferrari. I just hit a wall. I hadn't filled my tank, I hadn't changed the tyres, I hadn't gone in for a service, and I just kept going and going, and I was a people pleaser. And so, I hit burnout. I literally got up and didn't want to do it again tomorrow. And again, one of the things I really want to do is help women not get to that stage of burnout. I want to help them get off that burnout train before they hit that point. And again, in my book, I talk about the signs of burnout and how we can really avoid getting to that point.
And also getting back to the pandemic, we're seeing a lot of change, a lot of people working from home and hybrid working. How are you seeing this develop, and do you think it's going to be a success? I guess it's hard to answer that succinctly, but there's going to be a lot of different changes and so forth. But hybrid working, certainly the new norm.
Absolutely, it's the new norm. And I think it's wonderful in many ways where, we don't need to be in an office 24/7 to be productive. And I think we are being very productive in our own environments. I do work with a lot of women that are working from home, and I encourage them to really put some boundaries around what they're doing. So really have a start and finish time. and really manage that time, because we can get caught up in a home office and being there 24/7. So I do think it's a great thing, and I think it's a really nice balance for people.
And you also founded Mentor Me, which is an organisation which is, mentoring people. How important is it to have a mentor?
It's so important. Mentors and role models. And, we have different mentors and role models for different parts of our lives. And I've been very fortunate my whole life to have great role models. They started at home for me with my parents, but I've had lots of fabulous role models and mentors throughout my entire career. And I really encourage people to rally around, find your cheer squad, and really surround yourself with those people that are going to, guide you and really pick you up when you fall over, because we are going to fall over in our careers. That's just what happens. So really find those great mentors and role models that are going to support you through your career and your life.
All right, great advice. Thank you so much, Colleen Callander, founder of Mentor Me and author of Leader by Design. Take care.
Thank you so much.